Okay, so today I'm talking about capos, and I want to talk about what are the best capos to use. Here, I've got a whole bunch of capos here. Actually, I got even more down here. Believe it or not, I have even more littered in my guitar cases around the house. I have a lot of capos, okay? So let's talk about this. What do I think is the best capo and why? I'm going to give you right off the bat my opinion. I think this one's pretty good. That's called the Kyser, okay? You asked me why I put a piece of white tape on it, because all the equipment with the white tape is mine. I teach guitar and I have students coming in buying with their capos all the time. But I want to talk about why I think this is good and why I have all these other ones and what advantages do they have. Now keep in mind, I have a whole bunch of guitars, okay? I play guitar, I play bass, I play acoustic guitar, I play electric guitar, I play with slide, I play lead, and then all my kids play guitar, so they have their capos. So I'm going to talk about like kitty guitars and mini guitars as well as full sizes. So just what are the variables here? You got to realize that different guitar necks require different capos. Keep in mind you have different thickness, right? Like this is a very thick neck. This is a humongously thick neck. It's a Fat C from Warmouth. And this Planet Waves, or also now known as D'Addario capo, it goes right into that C, if you can see it. And it fits like a snug fit, and I can wrap over it. Now the issue is if the capo over pulls the string, like it just squeezes it too much, it's going to pull you out of tune, because it's going to depress the string so far down that it's going to literally pull it all the way till it's touching wood, and you don't need it to go that far. You need only the capo to pull down as much as you need to get the string to resonate at the fret. If you over pull that string, it's going to now go sharp, and this happens to a lot of capo users, okay? So the other thing I want to say is that if you watch pros on stage, whenever they change their fret on the capo, they're usually retuning, which requires a couple seconds, if not like a full minute, okay? So it's a vulnerable thing to use a capo and then to not use a capo and then to move the capo inside of the same music set with one guitar, which I see a lot of people do, okay? By the way, capos get so much hatred from like serious players, and I'm a serious player. I'm a full-time pro. I've been playing for 36 years. I'm a pro for 20 years. There is a place for capos. If you sing, you'll find that sometimes you'll need something in B flat, and you want to use those open strings because it's critical to what you're doing. So, you know, instead of doing everything as bar chords, you're just going to use a capo, which I never saw the point of using until I became a singer. After I started singing, I was like, I see why I need to use a capo to get the right chordal articulation or tones with the open strings or with the specific dynamics. Of course, there's a lot of people that cheat and don't actually know music theory, and they just move the capo around. I'm not going to call that cheating. I'm a guitar teacher, and I actually teach people to do it like that. But very quickly, I start teaching bar chords and get them out of the capo-only paradigm, because that's like your own prison, okay? Because you really get stuck in weird and distorted ways of playing guitar that was not intended by the writer of the song that you're trying to learn, okay? So what are the dynamics? You've got like these rounded necks versus like a thinner neck. I've got like a Telecaster over here. Let me just grab it. And this is a pretty thin neck. This is like one of those, almost like a 60s profile, a little fatter than a 60s profile, but this is a Tele from 1998. So it has a little bit different of a C neck, a smaller C than the ones on the market today. So what are the variables? What kind of capo can I use with that? Well, the first thing I said was I like this Kyser Capo. Keep in mind, it's not the exclusive only capo I use. There are times I don't like it, okay? What do I like about it? Well, I like the fact that the back is straight and not curved, okay? If you look at this capo, the back is curved, and it's coming apart. But why do I like to look at this one? The back is a V shape, okay? But I like the straight back a lot of times because it allows the capo to behave in a very consistent way. I can also very quickly put that capo on the fret. When there's a curvature in the back, it requires some finagling to make sure you're sitting right inside the curve. if you place the capo on and not be snugly in the curve, it could later shift and move during your performance, and then you could go grossly out of tune and it'll be very embarrassing. So putting on the capo at the moment you put it on, it's very important. It's very important that you don't mush or mash the strings, that you're able to just put it on very carefully, very flat, and then let the capo rest, and then you need to retune. You need to retune whenever you move that capo. So what's the point of these other capos I have, aside from my favorite one here? Well, even though that Kyser is my favorite, I use the D'Addario capo a lot. It depends on the guitar. A lot of times on stage I'm playing my Taylor 814, and these D'Addario capos, the curvature in the back fit perfectly. If you can see, mine is getting a little bent, so I'm not too happy with some of their manufacturing. I have a ton of these though. I have at least like 5 or 6, but I have a bunch that are not bent. But that's why I like these. My favorite thing about this capo is that there is a way of managing the spring tension, which is really important. Because if I'm grabbing something like, when I'm dealing with like this is a compound neck, so is that, but this is even more clear. This is a 10 by 16 radius compound neck. So if I move higher on the neck, I need to back this screw off more to give those jaws to open up more for the capo and to get the appropriate grip. And if I go on a skinnier part of the same guitar on the same neck, because it's a compound neck, then I need to tighten those jaws. And I want to get the perfect grip, because if it over grabs, it'll knock me way out of tune. Like I said, you'll always go a little out of tune when you put a capo on, so you should always retune. But I don't want to be too grossly pulled, okay? And then if it under grabs, obviously you're going to have buzzing and rattling. By the way, if you're having buzzing and rattling with your capo, it's probably not a tight enough grip on the fret. And if that's not adjustable, then get one that is, okay? I want to cover this capo. It just says CC. And I like this. It's a very flimsy, it's like the cheapest capo on Amazon. And it's just 2 straight bars, which I like, and there's nothing fancy in the grip, but sometimes on some guitars this is the best one, you know. And how do I decide what's the best one? Well, is it comfortably able to grab all 6 strings in the right way without mushing or mashing? So when that pressure gets on the capo, does the back curvature of the neck start to dictate for the capo to get pulled up or down, is what I'm saying. So that's why there's a lot of different capo shapes. And I didn't cover all of them. I just covered, I think, enough. If you're curious about the dynamics of a capo, I covered enough for you to start to understand. But if you have questions, please comment below and I'll answer your questions. That's it from a capo video. Thank you.